Welcome back to another exciting and very late night version of the Western Roundup. As you can tell, we have dropped off two of our normal co hosts, but we still have the best two, Mason and myself. So it should be an in depth, but maybe a little speedier one, seeing that it's past midnight here.
Well, considering I think we're still on the front row after the original TPP podcast, it seems fitting that we're still here.
Well, yeah, you got to save the best for last, Mason. And once again, we prove that we are the best and we are still up, meaning we're saved for last. With that, we got a lot to discuss. We got some big races to break down, kind of look at, and let's just get going on it. Friday night, Black Hills postponed their race to a later point of the weekend, but let's get to the big race of the weekend, or one of the big races of the weekend. Gallatin Speedway had the Montana Madness, and they had a very, very healthy car count for that IMCA Modifieds.
Yeah, they did.
They had 51 show up and were in attendance. And just to throw some of the more recognizable names that I knew, which is saying a lot because I'm not an IMCA expert or a Western expert, but we're getting there. Ricky Alvarado was a big name. Hank Berry, Ty Clements, Vernon Hill, Kinzer McCord. I only say Kinzer McCord because I know him from late model racing, so I was like, oh, that's kind of neat to see him there. Jeremy Meerhofer, Joey Price, Jeff Taylor, Jordan. I think it's Tucci.
Yeah, I think it's Tucci.
And then we had all the Jaegers. Is it Jaeger or Yeager?
It's Jaeger. You like to say Yeager, I know.
I know. I used to call him Yeager, and then I was like, that's Jaeger. So I just wanted to make sure it's Jaeger. But all three of them are out there, Braxton, Bryson, and Justin. So that's pretty cool to get a whole family out there. And Friday night, they also had the Wissota Street Stocks on hand, and we'll just say there were 13 of those drivers out there competing. Jeremy Castro picks up win number 8 while being hard charger of going +7, so he started outside row 4. Math. Sometimes it's tough for this late at night. But they had kind of a cool setup, Mason. They had a little twist that I thought was kind of neat for their qualifying night, which was Friday. They had 2 rounds of heats. I'm assuming passing points were used. I don't know how else they would do it, but what they did a little different was they had a dash for the first 3 rows, and then they had a 4th row dash.
Yep.
And that was pretty cool. I've never seen that anywhere before. Dash number 1 was won by Ricky Alvarado, and Ty Clements would take the outside pole position. And then row 4 was won by Braxton Yeager, and outside would be Joey Price. So that was a pretty healthy night of racing. One thing I want to say, the more I'm getting to watch these races, Mason, I get to see a couple bigger events here and there on Speed Sport, and you got some really nice tracks out there. They're big, real big looking. Maybe it's just how they're shot, but man, they look massive.
Well, and I'd love to go out there kind of for the scenery too, because I'm sure the backdrops of these places are just gorgeous.
Yep, that's what I was thinking too. But they got some nice looking tracks out there, and they're just big, and that's kind of cool. So let's get on to night number 2 of the Montana Madness. 55 lap feature. Remember, it's 5,000 to win. I think it was 3,000 for second, 2,000 for third, and 4th to 10th was 1,000 as well. So very healthy, paying top 10. And then I believe 11th on back all got, I think it was 400 to start. So I don't know what they all got, but it definitely a real nice payday just to start the feature there. some really good battles there. 55 lap feature, as I said. Ricky Alvarado would win it. He would be followed by Ty Clemens, and then in third was Devon Johnson, and then fourth was Jordan Tucci. Fifth was Brayton Yeager.
Braxton.
Braxton. Yeah, my handwriting sucks. Sorry, kids. But hard charger for the night was Taylor Johnson going plus 14. So if you're going plus 14, you're really putting in the work. So good job to all the guys out there. Good job to Gallatin as well. They also ran the Wissota Super Stocks on night 2. They had 13 in attendance, and winning that was Jeremy Meerhofer. He went plus 4 to pick up the win. So good job there.
That's a lot of laps that he put on this weekend.
Yeah, that is a lot of double heats, a dash, and then you got your street. I can't remember if you raced a street stock or not.
Doesn't look like you raced a street stock the day before. I was just checking that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I know out there they have a lot of guys who jump back and forth between classes, which is kind of cool. But overall, he had to put on at least a couple hundred laps.
Yeah.
So
you had a good idea on what the track was like.
Yeah. I always wonder if that's a positive or a negative, because you got one track and one setup and one class of car, which might be night and day different for the other class. So let's say the super stock probably races a little differently than a IMCA mod does. So is that a benefit, or is that kind of like a mind game that you have to play, trying to set up and throwing it in? Does it take a couple laps to figure it out before you're back in your groove? I don't know. It's something different.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be like more of a takes a couple laps to get used to different driving and handling. I'd assume, because I'm sure, like, going from one class to another, it's like, oh, can't throw it in like this.
Yeah, and then just imagine the fatigue factor. So those Western boys must be in good shape.
Must be, yeah.
Anyways, that was the Montana Madness. Overall, fun show to watch, just from bits and clips that I got to watch through Speed Sport. Good job, you guys out there. It's always a big risk throwing a big show like that, and I think they got rewarded very nicely for that by the support that they received from the drivers in the area. So good on them. Elsewhere on Saturday night, Gillette Thunder Speedway was racing. They had 76 cars in attendance for the High Plains Late Model Tour, along with the 1,000 to win IMCA Hobby Stocks. And then they had the Mod 4 Tour as well. In the Mini Bombers, they had 3 in attendance. Justin Rush ended up winning that. The Wissota Midwest Mods had 19 in attendance, and Tony Leiker ended up going plus 6, and Troy Leiker was hard charger going plus 7. So pretty good work being put in there too. I definitely don't think they mind going 1-2 like that.
Nope.
Mod 4s had 12 in attendance, and Mason, I'm probably going to slaughter this last name here. Jason, is it Sikenga? Sikenga. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Sikenga. Sounds like one of those Marvel heroes.
I was gonna say what it sounds like, but then I probably wouldn't. It would probably be too super appropriate. But
now you have us interested. You'll have to pay for that in the CNC, controversially non-controversial podcast. Anyways, Jason Sikenga.
Yeah.
Sikenga. Interesting. He went plus 3 to pick up the win, and another family member, Tyler Sikenga, going plus 6 as the hard charger for the night for the Mod 4s. The IMCA Hobby Stocks racing for 1,000 to win had 16 in attendance. Travis Lander
I think that,
Landor,
yeah, that's a good guess.
Landorer
Yeah.
went +2. Chris King went +5 to pick up hard charger. So nice little payday there for Travis.
Yeah, he come from
And
Nebraska.
hey, gotta go where the money's at, they say, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's on the very west side of Nebraska or what, but it's probably a good haul at least.
Yeah, you gotta imagine that it is. But pretty healthy field there. Second most in car counts for the night there. Looking at the IMCA modifieds, they had 15 in attendance, which I think is pretty interesting because you had that big Montana Madness race going on, and that usually draws a lot of the mods and a couple state radius to get that many, the 51 in attendance. But they had 15, and that's a really healthy field. And Darren Conrad went +4 for the win, and Matt Christofferson went +7 to be hard charger. So I was pretty impressed by that, to pull 15 on a night with a big paying race nearby. Well,
Yep.
maybe not nearby, but within a state range. And then for the High Plains Late Model Tour, they had 11 in attendance. It was Eddie Kirchhoff going pretty much +10 and getting hard charger for the night. But I also want to point out that second place Lyndon Bolt went +8, and there was a lot of movement throughout the field. So the fans got to see a pretty fun night of racing there. So hats off to Gillette Thunder Speedway for getting that in. And that would wrap up Saturday night's racing, So pretty good night of racing so far.
Yeah.
Sunday would be over at the Black Hills Speedway. They had 53 cars in attendance. The night was highlighted by the High Plains Late Model Tour, along with another $1,000 to win IMCA Hobby Stock Special, along with the Brian Welch Memorial for the Mod 4 Tour as well. So it's really cool how they package all these together. I don't know if it's because the beginning of the year got kind of washed out, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't see a lot of races around our area where it's special on top of special on top of special like
No.
this.
Yeah.
So this is pretty cool. So hats off, or a tip of the hat to you guys out west, making your races pretty exciting here. But anyways, they had 53 cars in attendance. The High Plains Late Model Tour had 12 cars. It was Dan Henriksen going +4 to pick up the win. And Virgil Randall went +8 to be your hard charger. And Mason, did you see that on Virgil's Facebook page? It sounds like he's retiring this year.
I saw that too. Yeah.
And we have a slight connection with Virgil through our Stock Car Stampede, a late model incentive program that we do with the Jamestown Stock Car Stampede, where we invite new late model drivers who have never competed at the Jamestown Stock Car Stampede or within the last 5 years within the late model division. So he took us up on that offer a few years back, and a real nice guy, real nice family. They definitely have one of the sharper looking cars out there, and you know what? Good on him. He's had a really good racing career, I think, and it's just nice to see him continuing to find success throughout his racing season. So hats off to him for going +8. In the IMCA modified portion, they had 6 cars in attendance, and this guy's been winning a lot lately. It's Eric Mass in the 44 going +4 to pick up the win and hard charger. So he's definitely got something figured out with his IMCA mod. In the hobby stocks, they had 11 attendance, and this guy must be he's got to have a nose for money, because he doubled up this weekend. It was Travis Landrer going +2 for the win, and Kyle Hansen went +4 to be hard charger for the night in the hobby stock. So a nice little back-to-back couple nights for Travis there, bagging a cool 2,000.
So I just was curious. I looked at IMCA national points. He's 6th in national points in the hobby stocks.
Well, this is definitely going to help him.
Yep.
Looking at the Wissota Midwest mod portion of the night, Matt Henzerling. Is it Henzerling?
Heinzerling.
Heinzerling.
Yep.
He went +3, so definitely a nice win for him there. Got to take the wins where you get them. The winner of the Brian Welch Memorial for the Mod 4s, they had 9 in attendance, and this guy, we're talking about people who have been winning a lot. Dean Larson went +3 and picked up another win. This guy is just taking all sorts of wins out west, and when he comes back east, it's no different. He's winning everywhere he goes right now. So hats off to Dean. Tristan Torres went +5 to finish 3rd and to get her charger for the Mod 4s. And finally, they had this is a good one too. This guy's been putting a lot of miles on for the Wissota Street Stocks.
Yep.
They had 9 in attendance, and he's got to be going for the national points because all the way from Wisconsin. Is he from Wisconsin or Minnesota?
Minnesota. I mean, it's close to Wisconsin where he's at, but he's from south of Rochester.
Oh, my bad. Well, Braden Brower went +4, and he made the long drive pay off because he's a wheelman, and I can't believe he drove that far. That is a long drive, especially to go past tracks that are racing your class.
Well, that was on Sunday. So Saturday they were racing in Miller. So he was in Miller on Saturday, and they raced again on Monday in Miller. So it was.
Oh, that's a nice turnaround then. Never mind. Anyways, Leonard Ferguson went +5 and finished runner-up and got hard charger. Page 2 of notes. And I hope you guys know I don't do this for the TPP. So you guys are definitely well thought of. Monday, they had Electric City Speedway, the fastest in the falls. 68 cars in attendance. The Wissota, I think it's Street Stocks. I just have SS. I really should come up with a better thing, but it is Wissota Street Stocks. They had 14 in attendance. Dave Azure went +1 to pick up the win, and Caden Craver went +4 to be hard charger. So nice little race there. Kind of piggybacking off of the Montana Madness, they had 34 mods in attendance for the IMCA modifieds. Ricky Alvarado went +3 to bag a cool $2,000. Jeremy Meerhofer went +10. That's a lot of passing. This guy does a lot of driving. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And then they had the Rocky Mountain Sprints in attendance as well. They had a nice car count there with 20 of them. And it was James Setter going +5 to pick up the win. Tuesday was night 2 of Fastest in the Falls, again at Electric City Speedway. They had 63 cars in attendance. They lost a couple, but that's okay. Attrition after a long weekend is definitely a thing. The Street Stocks had 12. Robert Petroff went +3 with Dylan. Is it Hop or Hope?
I want to say Hop.
I think it's Hop. Or is it Hoppe? I don't think it's Hoppe. But
Please correct us.
Yeah, we're having fun with this. It's also super late. But he went +8 for the night to be hard charger for the Wissota Street Stocks. The Rocky Mountain Sprints had 19 in attendance, and James Setter would win it from the pole. But is it Matheson?
Hang on.
Matte.
I think it's Matheson.
Matheson. Well, we're going to go with Matheson. He went +8 to pick up hard charger. And then in the IMCA modifieds, 32 cars in attendance. Braxton Yeager went +1, followed by Justin Yeager going +12 and getting second. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot of a lot of work being done out west. So another big 2-night special event being put on. Hats off to the crew over at Electric City Speedway. Uh, Definitely good job, you guys. Way to make a excellent weekend. And finally, they had the Casper Speedway racing on Tuesday as well. They had 39 cars in attendance. The hobby stocks had 7 in attendance, and I like this name. Is it Dino or Dino? I'm gonna say Dino Groening, going +3 for the win. I just like the name Dino.
I always, whenever I see that on my race pass, I always think the Flintstones.
Yep. I think more of the hockey route with Dino Cicerelli of the Minnesota North Stars. Being a hockey guy that I am. Anyways, moving on. They had the IMCA Sport Compacts in attendance. They had 4. Alex Lukowski. We're going to go with Lukowski. If it's wrong, please correct us. He went +3 for the win. The Wissota Midwest Mods had 10 in attendance, with Chad Switzenberg taking the win from the pole. Rick Chorniak went +4. And the Mod 4s, Wissota Mod 4s, had 5 in attendance. And this guy picking up another weekend win. Dean Larson going +2. He's definitely making his way to his max limit of wins for the year. So he's definitely on a rapid pace of wins. So good for him. They had the Rocky Mountain Hardtops racing, 5 in attendance, with Jim Ritter.
I think it's Ryder.
Ryder. I think it looks like Ryder. Going +3. The IMCA modifieds were won by Rick Chorniak. So a doubling up, and maybe not doubling up, but definitely a solid night by Rick. So good on him. And finally, they had the dwarf cars in, with Michael Oakley going +3 for the win. So definitely a pretty busy weekend out west, and definitely a lot of money being tossed around by a bunch of tracks. And sometimes you got to do that. I think it's cool what they did. Got to take a risk every now and then to try some new things and try some new formats, and I think it paid off for them, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, coming up this weekend, we got another pretty busy weekend here. Big
Friday,
Sky,
especially.
Yeah, I don't know how they have so many tracks racing around, but either which way, they got some fun races going on here. Big Sky Speedway has the ASCS Frontier Regional Sprints. Black Hill Speedway has the Pack the Stands free entrance night, which is, I bet they get just a boatload of people. Casper Speedway's got a regular night of racing, along with the Gallatin Speedway as well. Saturday, it slows down just a bit, but it's night 2 of the ASCS Frontier Regional Sprints for the Big Sky Speedway. And I think they got non-wing sprints that night as well. And then Electric City Speedway is hosting Military Night, so that'll be a fun night out there as well. Sunday is Sheridan Speedway, and they have a street stock special along with a quarter midget special. So overall, it should be another good weekend of racing out west for our friends out there.
Did you get Bandit Speedway in there on the 8th as well?
I did not.
They're racing on the 8th. They got rained out this last week, but it looks like they have fireworks as part of the program on the 8th with Wissota Street Stocks, non-wing sprints, modifieds, late models, and mod 4s.
Nice. Good catch, Mason. And with that, we're going to quickly wrap this up because both Mason and I are probably tired, and Mason's probably got a lot of editing to do with our other 2 podcasts. But, we want you guys to have another great weekend. Have fun, be safe, and we'll see you all hopefully at the tracks.